Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is. Got to take that music off for a second. I am Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV, and this is the second episode. The second episode of Cityzen Neighbourhood Watch. And the first one, great, epic. If you didn't catch it, go check it out. I'm planning on doing a playlist so you can actually find it easily on my channel. But hey, I had a Spurs fan. I had Jacob, the one, the only, no other. I had Jacob, United Spurs of America, official, one of the largest official supporters for Tottenham. Now, he happened to grace me with his presence and was part of the very first Citizens Neighborhood Watch. And now I got another American waffler, and I'm showing love to the North Americans with regards to football because I think this game keeps expanding, right? The reach of it is amazing. The perspectives are different. And hey, nothing's in echo chamber, but to hear different views, to kind of get things from a different perspective is what I'm pushing to do. So this show is going to mirror the last one. And I've taken your feedback. I've got some updates. I'm going to make sure that the clock is accurately managed, because what I find is when myself and the guests see that clock kind of ticking down, we're concise, we get our points across, and we're able to do it. Now I'm going to bring my man, the man that sometimes doesn't need to say a word. Magically, he's able to express himself through sounds, through actions that don't require him to move his lips, right? Almost like a ventriloquist. He's amazing that way. I'm inviting my man. You know him from the American Waffle. Shout out to Staffy on that channel. Hey, there's some whispers that show might not be coming back. There's some whispers that show might not be coming back. So hit him up whenever he goes live. Ask him about American Waffle. All right. But I'm bringing Marshall Casually FC, my dude from backstage up to the stage. Marshall, join us, my man. What's good? There it is. There it is.
It's magic how I did that while drinking water.
The guy can express himself without using words, man. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Let me organize a few things. And you know what? I'm gonna do this properly. I'm gonna give you a second to know that this is no ambush show. This is no trying to catch you out. This is not trying to set you up. Many shows, and shout out to them, I respect them. They do their thing. Today, it's about our clubs. It's about your club in particular. I'm over here at Manchester. You know, I'm seeing what's happening in the neighborhood, and often I've had to pay attention to what United are doing. Nah, not today. Today, I want to see what's happening over there at the Pride of London. Yes, it is a lot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up this clock here. I'm going to make sure that I've got that accurately done. I think it's good for everyone to kind of see. I'm going to continue to work on the overlays in the background, but I like being able to, if I go full screen, right? If I go full screen, I like to be able to maybe do can I do full screen? Yeah, I like to be able to do this if I have something to kind of say, you know what I mean? If I want to do something where, again, Marshall's got to go full screen, I'm able to do that.
Full blast. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So, first things first.
All right.
I'm going to put the timer to go. I'm going to ask you, real simple, Marshall. I don't know how you do it. You look well rested. Every day I happen to hear about a new transfer happening over at Chelsea. I don't know how you find time to sleep. You're also an entrepreneur, so I know you got busy nights as well.
Yeah.
I want to hear about your transfer window and what you like about it. Tell me what you like about your transfer window right now based off of the end of last season going into this season.
I just want to point out how you started that sentence with simple question. My transfer window is anything but simple. It is quite the most convoluted transfer window. It is literally like, for those video game nerds out there, the Hideo Kojima Metal Gear Solid transfer windows, where it's such a convoluted story and nothing makes sense anymore. But in terms of how I feel about it, honestly, like. It's in terms of bringing in names and seeing where we left off last season. Pochettino has left. We now brought in this guy Enzo Maresca, who won the championship last season with Leicester City. Now we know he's more okay. Now he's more of he's supposedly the direction that we want to go in, which is more systematic, more structure kind of a football. Whereas Pacho's very much like rock and roll, jazz, whatever you want to call it. He was very all over the place, no tactics and all that. Now we have someone who has a vision, has tactics, has a style of play. So when it comes to that. And when you look at the past in terms of the scouting and the talent we have brought in with this recruitment team that has been instilled since January of the season before Poch, the Graham Potter season, the recruitment has done a decent job of getting me some quality players.
Okay.
With this window, Chelsea fans will moan and complain that it's not a good one simply because they're so used to the way Roman used to do things. We bring in the big name players and then we pay them even though they flop, and then they're stuck with us. And I will say this transfer window so far, saying Tosin, KDH, who else did we bring in? We got some youngsters as well. We recruited a lot of youngsters. As far as first team choices, Mark Gui as well. And I think there's a fourth one there that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, I don't blame you not to be able to remember all of the signings over at Chelsea. But
so many. Neto, that's another one too. Pedro Neto, we just got him. Another one that worries me a little bit, but we just got a new medical team. That signing showed me faith in that medical team. But in terms of the window, I'm like, okay. I'm okay with it because at least...
Are you just okay with it, though?
I'm okay with it because I could be in a worse position, Vader. I could be Liverpool, where we're not getting anyone.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, I think you're being you're downplaying it a little bit. I think it's a little underwhelming with how I would expect more of a... I'm more than okay with this transfer window when you kind of look at what you did last season. You're welcome, by the way, with Cole Palmer. But this year, with what you're with what you've been able to do, I mean, whispers.
Yeah. Always catching me with the thank you. It's like I should be saying thank you because you copied our model, the one that we set up, and you built it. We give you the fundamentals, and you went off and started flying.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it where it happens. If the fundamentals, the building blocks, the structure, 100%. I got no problem saying thank you. Right.
Yeah, I'm like Leonardo da Vinci. We made the schematics for the airplane, and then you're like the Wright brothers who's made it famous. Made it cool.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm Zuckerberg taking the Facebook to where it is. You're the twins.
Yeah,
I hear it.
Exactly. That's kind of crappy, but yeah. Go ahead.
But when I look at your transfers, and your whisper to go after, is it Osimhen? Is that a whisper?
I mean, right now, in terms of latest news, apparently there is an outlet saying that we did come to an agreement with Osimhen in terms of a permanent transfer, and it's going to require 40. I believe the rumor was 40 euros from us plus Romelu Lukaku and Cesar Casadei.
Wow.
And we get Osimhen.
Yeah, it looks like that's happening then. I mean... It could.
It hasn't been confirmed by the big ITKs,
Yeah.
And then we have the João Felix thing, which as of late, João Felix wants to move because he wants anywhere but Atletico. But we're negotiating the fee right now in terms of like the transfer fee. I think they want 50 and we don't want to pay 50.
Well, Zhao's seen the writing on the wall. He's like Julian Alvarez is heading over there. They're welcome,
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And when they have that level of quality, Zhao's probably looking around like, dude, nah, I don't want this fight anymore. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I think he would be quality again. I know he didn't have the best
Mm-hmm.
loan stint over at Chelsea, but to come back and more familiar, and with the amount of players now that you kind of have to go in that mix, I think it's good. Now, the reason why I was like, whoa, I see it. I get it, Marshall. You wanna kind of play it cool. The transfer window's not officially closed,
Yeah.
but when I look at, and there's going to be a neighborhood watch. There will be a neighborhood watch where I'm going to be talking to a Liverpool fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I got obviously more time needs to happen because what will we talk about, right? Right
Yeah, yeah,
now,
yeah.
there's nothing to really watch over there at Liverpool. But with what's
Gonna
happened
laugh at
over
them.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And again, these neighborhood watches are positive shows. These are shows
Sure.
where point out what's going well. You mentioned, new management,
Mm.
or sorry, new coach in particular. You mentioned new medical staff, which is great. You mentioned the number of players that have
Mm-hmm.
come to the club. Now, I think you probably have, uh, correct me if I'm wrong, but if all these rumors kind of take place, you probably have Neto, Osimhen, and Palmer. That's probably your front three? If those
I would
if
say so. Yeah.
the signings happen, and if they don't happen, who you probably continue to put, what,
Jackson.
maybe Jackson up front.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still, I mean,
Yeah.
Jackson. I don't think he'll be, I don't think he'll miss those opportunities like he did last year, just getting
I
familiar and
agree.
moved from the wing centrally. But I think he'll be better off for it. Then your midfield, you've got Caicedo. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
he's a little more refined, less reckless with some of those
Should
tackles.
be. Yeah.
Fernandez, despite
Mm-hmm.
all the craziness that was happening with him
Yeah.
and Cope and all that kind of stuff, but you just and you got a new signing in Hall, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Re-
KDH.
Yeah, so that's probably your midfield, or
I think there's a lot of people touting Lavia, Fernandez,
yeah, okay,
Caicedo.
yeah,
You also have Nkunku that you can throw into the mix as a 10, who's been doing pretty good in the attacking 8 role as well.
okay,
There's a lot of factors. I think Maresca has quite a bit of a headache when it comes to picking a
big
good
problem.
team.
That's a great problem.
But in terms of the window, like I say, it's
Why
okay.
why are you saying okay? That's a
I
very
think
midfield.
okay's middle of the road. I think okay's middle of the road. But the thing is, though, Vader, like the reason I say okay is because although Gui came in and he does look impressive, you could tell he's not the finished product. You could tell he still needs to work on finishing, and we
Okay,
still need a striker regardless. Like I know Jackson did a job last season, and I am very grateful for what the recruitment did in getting Jackson at the price he did. We got him at the age he's at, outperforming Hoyland, who came in at twice the transfer fee as well.
nice.
I think that's a great recruitment, but is he going to be the one to take us to the next level to compete at for a top 4 spot, or even compete for the Premier League, depending on things go this season,
Okay.
or even next season? I don't think he's there yet. Time will tell. I agree with you. I think he's going to improve, but we still need a striker. So, and the goalkeeper. So if Osimhen and Felix were to come in,
Yeah.
I would give the window a 9 out of 10. The thing that would make it a 10 out of 10 is if we had gotten a better goalkeeper, because I'm not sure who this Jorgensen guy is, and Sanchez
Yeah.
has a lot of doubts, even though I fight against a
He's
lot
not
of the
that
hate.
bad.
I agree. I don't think he's that bad, but people, you know how people are. They have short-term memories, and they want to remember the low lights over the highlights.
Yeah. I think he's serviceable. He's yeah, he's not I guess a sexy name with regards to
Yeah.
goalkeeper, but I think he gets the job done easily in terms of not having to go out and splash for a keeper. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's probably the least of your worries, really. I mean, I agree with
Mm-hmm.
you in terms of going out and getting a striker. Now, let's talk defensively, because
Sure.
because here's another area of the pitch where I think I should be seeing a very, all smiles, all happiness, high eyebrows in terms of excitement. Marshall, when you talk when you talk defensively, because you got Kukurea, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
centrally, who you gonna got? Who you gonna have?
I
Colwell?
I, I think it's gonna be a back four, back three hybrid of
Potential.
Cucurella,
Yeah.
Colwell, Reese if he was fit. Unfortunately, he's unfit again.
Okay, but
But Tosin in there. There's
okay.
people. There's we have Fofana as well, who this is his
Did he-
first season back.
I mean,
You
you
know,
guys were praising what is it, Gusto?
oh, Gus is phenomenal. He's another one too that's going to be playing
Yeah,
in Reece James's position. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's actually proper competition for Reece James. So
100%.
Marshall, I got to say this, and in the comments, please let me know if you agree or disagree. But Marshall's a little too laid back. Marshall's too like this transfer window is just it's just okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
It's just okay.
It is okay because we still have deficiencies that we have to take care of.
Yeah,
the
no
striker
one's
and
gonna have a
goalkeeper
perfect-
being one.
No one's gonna have a perfect squad.
Yeah,
Like, no one's
and
gonna have a perfect
also
squad.
I should add, the left wing, the Neto one, that's great. We did need a left winger. Neto
Thank
is
you for
perfect.
saying that's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's great. That's great business. That definitely improved the window. But I mean, prior to that, I was like a 4 out of 10. And like we did get a left back, one that could invert, and Renato Vega. He's another one I forgot to mention. Renato Vega.
Hey, no need to apologize. That list of players, I don't expect
I
you
know.
to remember.
That one's a tough one too because I don't know what kind of caliber of player he is. Is he going to play over Cucurella? I don't know. I don't think so because Cucurella already knows how to invert, and this manager wants to invert. But Renato Vega, he's got some moments in preseason where I'm like, oh, this is impressive.
So you ended the season last year. I mean, not to revisit it, but I think you ended the season strong. You ended the season more so like
In Conference League.
No, yeah, you did end it
In Conference League. Yeah, let's just call it what it is.
But the run, 2024 for Chelsea was night and day compared to 2023. Like the last series of matches played to close out the season was very, very promising. So sixth place. When I hear that you are looking to get a striker, when I look to hear the players that you already have, you still finished the season with 77 goals scored. And honestly, maybe the improvement happens just by a matter of being, like you mentioned, Posh was a little too freestyle, jazz, just on the fly. But maybe if you're a lot more sound defensively, you prevent a lot more goals.
Mauricio, I can't.
If you prevent a lot more goals, maybe that's where the difference could lie in terms of you guys progressing up. I did a show a little earlier today about the top four. I think the top four, or the fight for top four, is going to be hugely entertaining because I'm looking at last season. Aston Villa were fourth, 68 points, and it was only 8 points that differed from fourth and eighth. That's it. You were only 5 points off fourth. As horrible and as mad as you were when we were doing our shows, linking up, and you talking about Poch and I want this manager out, you guys were still 5 points off fourth, Champions League, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a relaxed type Marshall that I'm witnessing right now. I get it. You don't want to. If you were to get a striker, you're saying that's a 9 out of 10. If you were to maybe also get a keeper, you'd say a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, probably.
But now and again, I said this. A lot of shows can always point out what's wrong with the club. They can point out what they don't have. They can point out what's not working well. We really can't do that just yet because the season hasn't started. We're going off preseason. Preseason can only say so much. So there should be more. There should be more of wait and sees. There should be more of I'm actually hopeful. There should be more of I've got quality that's been added to the team, to the club. Let me see what happens. I'm not asking you for a prediction. It's too early. Transfer window's not closed. You haven't even seen them play an official game. But have you already kind of set expectations with I know I haven't seen a ball being kicked yet, but Chelsea's not finishing sixth. Chelsea's finishing better than sixth. Has that happened for you with the transfer window? Okay.
100%. Like, just everyone, and you probably dealt with this too, to an extent, with the Man City fan base. this preseason, I had so many fans melting down like, oh no, we lost. We only won one game out of the whole preseason against Copa America of all clubs. Oh, the defense, we look shambolic and all this and that. And it's like, I get the issues, right? I get there are some issues still, and this is going to come with integrating a system and a style of play. Players are going to have to adapt and get used to. Some of these guys haven't gotten used to where to be in a position during certain scenarios and when not to be in a certain position during other scenarios. Some, at least Maresca, saying he's trying to break the habit that these players have of a high line that they, acquired during their Poch time, that they were playing this super ridiculous high line. And he's trying to break that habit too. So and this is why we need to stick with this guy, right? Because we can't be flipping and changing managers. You got to stick with one so that we don't have to go through this phase of having to break the bad habits of a previous management. But in terms of like my expectations, like, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm expecting top 4 this season. I think this team, you look at the quality, you look at just my midfield alone, there is a really, really solid contingent of players there to choose from. The attack, Neto, Jackson, Palmer, say what you want about Jackson, but that guy is going to improve and he's going to show his worth this season. I really think so. Even if we get an Osimhen, he's going to be stiff competition for Osimhen. Okay. I still think we have all the makings of a great team. Yes, defensively, we look a little shaky. Over the course of the preseason, it did solidify a little better. Yeah. After Haaland put 3 past us and so on and so forth. After that, and mind you, you saw that game. Both the windows in which you scored were our mistakes. Just silly, stupid mistakes. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, we kept you guys pretty quiet. Yeah. And we did create chances. So you can see the glimmer and the little preview of if this is solidified and down pat and these guys get used to the system, this is what it could look like. And it does look more defensively sound. Again, it's preseason. And again, people are going to freak out when the first game is going to be this Sunday against you guys and we may or may not win. People are going to freak out if we lose. People are going to freak out if we draw. I got to remind people, this is Man City. They just won the quad, right? They did it 4 times in a row. This is one of the best teams in the world. We're not expected to win.
We hope to win the quad in the future, but the 4-peat.
The 4-peat,
the overreaction to happen, if it so happens, my decimator would just knock on it. If it so happens that we happen to win, there shouldn't be a meltdown.
Exactly.
Losing to defending league champion shouldn't be a meltdown.
I'm willing to give this one time because I understand it's going to take time. And I haven't seen... this is how I was with Poch last season, right? Last preseason, again, I never wanted Poch. But last preseason, Poch... I let Poch... Now I was open-minded.
No, but now that you said that...
I'm just saying, I let Poch convince me that maybe I was wrong about him.
Okay, but
then he proved me I was right about him again.
You said you didn't want Poch. Because of you saying that, now I got to ask the question.
Yeah.
Do you want Maresca?
Yeah. No, I'm all for it. I'm all on board.
All
Listen,
right. Okay.
The thing is, and again, my fan base like to overinflate, and it's not even my fan base, it's rivals too, but I hear it more from my fan base, which is so weird, which is why Chelsea fan base is such a unique snowflake of a fan base from time to time. And I say that word with the literal meaning. They're going to tell you, oh, these ownership, we went through 5 managers. These recruiters only hired Poch after the mistake that Bowley did of hiring Graham Potter. The interim was there for the sake of looking for a manager in the time that we needed to get rid of this guy, which is Lampard. So this management only hired Poch, who almost made them look good in terms of 5 points away from top 4. It would have been okay, and they would have been right.
Yeah.
And we improved from that season to 6th.
Yeah.
Right? So statistically on paper, we did improve. Am I happy with how we improved and how the season went? Not necessarily, but technically we did improve. So if this recruitment keep improving and they pick this manager based on his style of play and what profiles he needs, and this is how we recruited, then I expect this team to mesh in, hopefully before January, we're looking like a more consistent team.
Okay. Now, You didn't want Poch. You said, "Yeah, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt." Obviously, you got to the season. Shout out to American Waffle. You're like, "Nah, this manager needs to be out of there." We all remember those combos. Giving Maresca a chance, and you're gonna see how things progress. Now, I want to ask, not to say you need to finish at a certain standings,
Hmm.
but is it a matter of you just want to see your club be competitive where you are making having having that chance at winning versus an Arsenal, versus a
Hmm.
City, versus a Liverpool? Are you kind of holding the club at a high standard where what clubs quote unquote lesser than that, like, are you saying Newcastle, Aston Villas, you need to separate yourselves from that, or are you also envisioning, hey, yeah, we finished sixth, I'm expecting something better, but this fight's going to be epic anyway, so I just want my club playing better football. Where where
Um,
where are you at?
I don't expect us to be competing for the league this season. I
Not the
very,
league. No,
very,
that's you can't go from sixth
yeah,
to
yeah,
then
yeah,
competing for the league.
100%.
But you would it be Chelsea need to be in striking distance of top four. Chelsea need to, like, if it comes down to the end of the
I
season.
for me, to be fair, for
Yeah.
me, I am expecting top four. But
Okay.
if we don't make it, or even if we're like in eighth place, right? God forbid, knock on wood. I need to see the context.
I hear
If
it.
we
I hear it.
if we got there playing horrendous football and this manager made horrendous decisions like playing Ben
I hear it.
Choa at left wing, or bringing on Conor Gallagher and all this other
Irrational.
stuff, like I
Yeah.
think I can be forgiving and be like, okay, there was good football. We just had really unfortunate circumstances and really we got really unlucky. We lost a lot of players due to injuries, so on and so forth. Like key players. Then I can be understanding. Do I expect that to happen? No, I do expect us to still be in that top four. And even if I'll be honest with you, my prediction, based on the window right now, even
Yeah.
before the striker,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's going to change much, even with the striker or even with the
Okay.
acquisition of Felix.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, like, I expect us to be fourth place.
Fourth
I do
place.
expect us to be there. Yeah.
Fourth place. Now, those of you watching live, those of you tuning in later,
Huh?
that's not a madness.
I don't
That's
think
not a
so.
madness.
We were really close without tactics last season. So logistically,
Why see? Why do
logically,
you keep throwing shots at Pot? He's gone.
no, I'm just stating the obvious and
He obviously had
the
tactics.
facts.
He had
No, these players, they're literally Moises Caicedo came out in an interview and said, yeah, at Brighton, the Zerbi was more tactic based and all that stuff, whereas at Chelsea, it was running. So we had the most in shape team in the Premier League, no doubt about that. Thank you, Pochettino. But the guy really had no direction. So.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, can you please list, as it stands right now, not the potential, what's your most exciting signing? What was the signing where you're like, whew, yeah, yeah, I'm really happy Chelsea went out and got this player.
Um, I'm gonna say probably for me the most exciting one is Neto. Really, like I am excited to see. I can't tell you how many times that guy has caused Chelsea such headaches, and for him to finally be on our side, it's like finally, like if you can't beat him, join
Yeah.
him. Like,
I like
it's
it.
one of those. So I'm like, I'm
Okay.
all for it. Like
So
it
Neto
needed
signing
to be
was huge.
addressed.
And you said it earlier, the medical staff, they're on the up and up, so that should be looking positive.
But there are signings that we made last season that we didn't get to see that I'm really excited about this season.
It's okay, speak on it.
Lavia. And
welcome, by
thank
the way.
you. I already knew. I already knew you were going to go there. So I already said thank you. Because genuinely, like, Man City did make a really good product in that guy. And, oh, my God, this preseason, he has wholeheartedly impressed me. Like, this kid, like, I read up a little bit of on his story of, like, what he kind of went through and how he prepped for this preseason. And this guy, this season, I'm telling you right now, Vader and anyone watching, Staffy, all you guys, this season, look for Lavia because he is coming
in that
back
work.
with a vengeance. He's playing like he's got something to prove.
He put in that work. I can't hate on it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the EDS players where I'm like, timing, man.
Yeah.
timing, because
Mhm.
I remember talking with other City fans. He was on that short list where we were like him, but we were like, does he need a little more experience? And obviously, hindsight, we ended up getting Calvin Phillips instead. Um, but okay, Lavia, who's not a new signing, but because of health issues last
Yeah.
season,
He played 30
he's
minutes
like a
last
new one.
season. That's
Yeah,
it.
he's a new one. Neto, I can't lie. I'm I'm glad that he's at Chelsea than anywhere else
Mm.
right now. I won't like that later on because I think you guys are still
Yeah.
like establishing yourselves. But had he gone to like Liverpool that have been complaining about their left wing, had he gone to an Arsenal who have been complaining about their left wing in terms of looking for consistency, um, and I don't think United were ever in the mix. But Neto's a quality signing.
Hmm.
Him healthy is a problem.
100%. Yep.
Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit
Go for it.
because there are fans and there are supporters. Some can be fans and supporters. Your kits this year.
Well, that's real switching
It-
gears.
the,
Okay.
the kits this year. Anything that you're like, Chelsea's got my money again. Which kit jumped at you and said, you know what, I got to put money on this.
Third kit. That third kit with the what, the hot pink on it and the black.
Okay.
That kit's dope. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's a pretty dope kit.
Chelsea's third kit.
I'm not hating on the kits this season. I know people were going crazy about the home kit being like, oh, what is this? Oh, like looks like my 4-year-old drew it, or I'm tripping on acid. And it's like, no, I think it's cool. Like, yeah, like I personally am more of an artist kind of
I,
mind, so maybe that's why I like it. But
I like the color
a
pop.
nice kit, yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing it even before they put the logos on there, like the
Mm-hmm.
sponsors. I'm wondering whether they would put the sponsors in the same hot pink. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would look good. But I'm not gonna lie to you. In my former life,
Mm-hmm.
I worked for Nike, and there was at a time there was a philosophy, there was branding rules where they would never multi swoosh. They would never put, essentially the logo, the Nike logo. They
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't double up on it. That's kind of since changed. But this going horizontally, unless I'm seeing something off. But is the
Mm-hmm.
swoosh horizontal on the third kit?
It hasn't been officially premiered yet.
Okay.
But I believe it's the swoosh is going to be vertical.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I
Interesting.
believe.
Interesting.
That's what I've been seeing.
The color pop's nice. I can't hate on it. I can't
I
hate
like
on
it.
it.
I like the color
Um,
palette. Yep.
okay. Chelsea. Chelsea's third kit. I mean, I don't know if you happen to see, but I'm excited for, and actually I'm going to be leaving here after the show
Mm-hmm.
because Manchester City's third kit happens to be maroon, and
I do like that kit.
it's quality as well. So yeah, it looks like, I mean, not only are we fans, but we're going to be supporters of our club because we're putting money into the club.
Yeah.
The third
Can I
thing,
ask you a question real
yeah,
quick?
absolutely, absolutely.
I do need to ask you a question, and maybe actually, you know what? I'll save it. I'll save it for our stream.
Okay, viewers, listeners tuning in, that is what you call a teaser. So what Marshall just did, listen. This is why his channel is fantastic. This is why you need to go over to. This is why you need to go over to Casually FC, subscribe. His channel details are in the title
Thank
of the
you.
show, also in the description. You need to go and subscribe. But this is what you call, for those of you professionally, this is what you call a teaser. So
Little foreplay.
suppose, there you go, ladies, men, you do your thing, but you understand. Now, we'll save that question for another time. I also want to say, because I said this from the beginning, I want these shows to be nice and concise. I appreciate, I value your time, and
Of
also
course, man.
I know we got a season coming up where the conversations are going to be a lot more in depth because there's actually football being played. All of this preseason, yeah, we're not going to geek out on this stuff.
Exactly.
It's surface stuff. But I want to thank you, Marshall, Casually FC as well for being on the show. 30 minutes flew by. The positives with regards to Chelsea signings, crazy laundry list of them, but the positives of Chelsea and their signings and going to the season, Marshall said it. And it wasn't even braggadocious. It wasn't even like, hey, I'm going to hold my manager. If they don't, it's doom and gloom. But he's like, nah, finish sixth. I expect them to be, expect top four, expect fourth. At kind of like at the minimum, or what they should be shooting for, and context as well if it doesn't go that way. So again, subscribe to his channel, like this show, comment if you're watching it not live, and I want to thank you for being on the show. Now, before we go out, I'm going to put you full screen. Anything you want to say in detail, anything that you want to make sure that the people are aware of, I'm gonna give you that time to do that.
Of course. First and foremost, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Vader Games TV, because if you haven't, you're missing on some genuinely delicious content on here. All right, so be sure to do that. Secondly, also check out my channel, because we are on our way to 3K subscribers. There's a big surprise for the channel once we hit 3K subscribers, and a lot of great things coming to that channel as well. So keep yourself posted for that.
Vader Games TV subs, go over there, get him to 3,000, make that happen, get that surprise, get that special treatment out.
And lastly, be on the lookout for Chelsea, because I guarantee you this is not going to be like Chelsea of last season. We will pattern up, and we are going to come. We're going to come strong. Pause. All right?
Wow. Yeah. Let me take you off full screen for you could have phrased that in so many different ways.
Hey, listen. You gotta leave it. I gotta leave it. Foreplay. We're doing the foreplay.
My guy Marshall, Casually FC, everyone in the chat, much appreciated. Everyone showing and watching, much love. I'm gonna catch you guys, and you're gonna. Hey, you have to subscribe. I'll do my best on social so you can find me. But I'm doing a show with Marshall later in the week, because obviously we play on Sunday. So don't miss out on Vader Games. This is Marshall, and we are out of here. Let me do that.
Vader.